2 minutes, players and referees, 2 minutes.
Awesome, and here we are back. Meg Sycamore, captain of NZ, mate. How much fun was that game?
Oh, it was so cool. So cool to be on the finals field on the live stream, so lots of our whānau can watch at home. And amazing facilities here, like that field's well groomed, so it was awesome to be out there, yeah.
Excellent. You girls looking really fit, mate. The campaign build-up preparation's been really good, eh?
Yeah, we've had a couple of really great camps. We've all come together, and that's always good. We're a relatively new group, so it's been a bit of a building year, but it's having a tournament like this is so good because you can build throughout the games rather than just straight into playing Australia. So very grateful, and yeah, building well.
And all roads lead to Anzac tomorrow. We know that we're good at the big first test, Aussie, New Zealand. What are you looking forward to in that one?
Oh, I think any opportunity you get to play Australia is such a privilege. Like, they set the bar really high, and I think playing them on Anzac Day of all days is super special for both countries. It's always a great battle, and I think over the last few years the gap's just been closing, so really, really excited to get out there and to see what we can do tomorrow.
Well, you guys have been massive so far. I've loved watching you guys today, mate. Good luck for tomorrow, mate.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Catch ya.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Welcome back to Mudgee for the Asia Pacific Opens Touch Cup for 2026. Singapore taking on Lebanon in our Women's Open Division Round 4 match. It's been a tough start to the tournament for Singapore. They've had to take on the big guns, both Australia and New Zealand. 16-1, a Round 1 loss to Australia. 17-0 the last match against New Zealand, but a very hard-fought, narrow loss to the Philippines in Round 2, 4-1. They'll get first use of the ball here. Turning it back on the inside, and straight away they split Lebanon. So there's a good start for Singapore. Straight through the middle they go. It's Francesca G who gets there. As we say, a very good afternoon to Jackson Mills.
Thanks, James. And you also mentioned that they've had a tough start against New Zealand and Australia. However, with that comes experience. You get to play against the two best teams in the world. And it just makes things a little bit more clearer when you're playing a team like Lebanon. They may not be as fast or as elite as Australia or New Zealand, but being able to experience what it's like to play against those top teams, you take that energy into the next few games.
Certainly Lebanon have been improving, not just in this tournament, but more generally over the past 2 years. Improved toward the back end of that World Cup campaign as now they take off here through McHale. McHale can't link up with support out wide, but their last match, of course, in this particular tournament, getting their first victory of it, 9-1 over China Taipei. So they're building as well. This should be a good little contest between the two sides. And then an error there, unfortunately, for Singapore will invite Lebanon down the other end. So McHale carts it forward up into enemy territory. They look to be miles offside there, Singapore, and they will be pinged for it.
Good field position here from Lebanon, getting to start their set inside the defensive zone of Singapore. This will be a good time for Lebanon to showcase what they've got.
So now McSweeney, obstinate acting half, finds support. Carla Wiebe is out there as well in 17. She's certainly one to watch. Waiting for her chance to strike now. No touch made initially. Wiebe will take off and then looks to pop a little pass. Well read, though, by Singapore. It was Toribio who came in to make the touch. Dagger then delivers short here for Couder. And then big step there from Wiebe, trying to squeeze through a couple of defenders. Good touch made right on the line by Layla Mason. In fact, waved away.
Carla Wiebe, ecstatic about that, ripping the ball back to halfway. Look, just straightens up, comes off the right foot. Play is clearly called offside or not even making the touch. Attacks the line. The referee says ball down, all clear. There you go, Lebanon hit back strongly through Carla Wiebe.
So one try piece now, about 3 minutes gone. Mentioned Wiebe was one to watch, and she's come up trumps on that occasion. Short delivery now from Jazriel Tan. Tan stays alive in the play, and there's another turnover here from Singapore.
And she's verbal about it too, isn't she? Jazreel Tan barking orders, unhappy with the decision from the referee, but yeah, just errors starting to creep in early for Singapore.
Lebanon beginning their roll as well. This is a good set for momentum. That pass looked to be at least a metre forward, and they will ping it.
You can see in the back, the wind's completely dropped off here at Mudgee. It's been up, it's been down, it's been left, it's been right. You can't blame the wind on that occasion for this one.
I think even if we had a industrial strength leaf blower behind the ball, it wouldn't have quite done that much. That was well and truly forward as now Singapore go on the attack. Nice cycling of the footy through the middle. Oh, catch and pass. Might have been the better option. They were sort of stuck between firing long to the wing and hitting link.
It was Isabel Fan. Unfortunately, ball going to ground. If she had the ability just to cut that link out, the winger was walking in untouched. But, yeah, I would have loved to have seen maybe even a dummy and then bury it down, pin the ears back to get the touch on Lebanon. But Lebanon now coming up with an error, giving Singapore good field position.
Yeah, hasn't been too many completed sets so far. You feel like the first team to actually settle and just get back to basics, get those foundational moments correct, will be the one that goes on with things here. And there's a prime example of it on play number 2, an incorrect roll ball from Singapore.
It must have been just a little bit of a bobble as Lebanon forcing passes, trying to get to that substitution box. And again, another error, ball down from Lebanon. So it's back-to-back errors from both sides. We haven't seen a completed set in at least 3 minutes here. This fixture, it's the Women's Opens, Lebanon versus Singapore.
Again, short delivery, little dummy there from G. Plays it just outside the 7. Back to the middle. Oh, Tan had a little bobble once again. That was a nervous moment also. Now arriving is Koo. Koo brings it about 10 metres away. Very flat pass, more than flat. That one is picked off as well. And I think we've gone about 10 sets straight now between the two sides without a completion.
Yeah, probably still a little bit of nerves. You're playing for your country in the Asia Pacific Cup in Mudgee on field number 1 in front of a pretty decent grandstand here. So as long as the nerves start to settle, we're 5 minutes into the first half. Lebanon now with the ball.
So McHale looking for support. Floats it over the top here for Beckett. Beckett's caught, but at least they've got through a set there, Lebanon. And they can bury it down the other end of the field, so force Singapore to work it away from their own end.
Tell you what, I'm loving Jazreel Tan early on from Singapore. The number 3, she seems extremely competitive. You could see when Singapore created an error or dropped the ball, she was very vocal at her teammates. And again, shutting down on the defence there. Jazreel Tan defending in the right-hand link with Singapore back on the attack.
Now finding Alexis Tan, but unfortunately she couldn't get on the outside of Beckett, who stood tall, made the touch defensively, and after 6 minutes here, still locked up at 1 apiece. Both teams just beginning to settle a touch. It's been a nervy opening. As they come out to this right-hand side, good meters now for Lebanon. Up towards halfway they go. They'll cross that threshold. Nice subset as well. They all come sweeping on in one swift motion. And watch out Singapore, because Weeby is back out there once again. Dagger drops it down. Weeby then back to Dagger. Shuffling across is Kudair. Kudair was looking for a penalty, not forthcoming though. Last one brought up instead. Kudair will shift it out to that right-hand side. Nothing really doing. That's why it's so important to work for that strike dump leading in towards the end of the set.
Yeah, a bit of a nothing finish there for Lebanon. Seems like Kudair just got a flick on the ball from the Singapore defender. Unfortunately, it was 4th leading into 5th, so they had a very stagnant 5th touch. But Singapore now with a good roll on into Lebanon's territory now through Tan.
Nice drive up the sideline, then they centralise the play a touch more. And they will get a strike dump to work with. Lebanon still rolling backwards. Catch and pass looking good here for Singapore. All collected. As she was pushing through was Francesca G, who said, gee, I have been whacked there on that occasion by Raina Dagger.
I mentioned it before, Jazreel Tan sweeping on nicely for Singapore through the box, getting that strike dump. But again, with that good forward momentum from Singapore, Lebanon doing really well to collapse on that defensive edge. Because they had the numbers, Singapore, unfortunately couldn't convert. But now Lebanon through Kudair into their attacking territory.
Now Weeby as well takes off down the sideline. Once again, there's going to be a turnover here, unfortunately, for Weeby. So Singapore let off the hook.
Yep, marched another 10 metres for throwing the ball away.
Now Singapore looking to go coast to coast out to this right-hand side. Looking for those reinforcements, and that will certainly help their cause. A fresh set, now about 15 shy of the halfway line. Little draw and pass, and then more metres down the sideline. That's good play from Singapore. They hit the ball at speed, and there's another 10 for good measure. They went a little bit too quickly, though, with the roll ball. Never really stable on the feet.
Yeah, Julie Tori-Ribo just stepping over the mark, unfortunately, for Singapore. Good line speed in the defensive set, and another error. There's been so many errors inside the first 10 minutes here in this game. Both Lebanon and Singapore probably completing at less than 40%, I'd say, James.
I think you've been quite generous there. I was going to say it's a tough time for statisticians. Maybe around 20% would be my guess at this point. Oh, and there was nearly another error there. Jezreel Tan decided to hold on to it, though. That was a good decision. Mason out on this right-hand side. Once more, they'll look to Tan. She has been the architect thus far for Singapore. Popping a pass now for May Brenda. May Brenda then looking for a long ball. It was a good idea, just not quite the execution there to link up with Gan.
Yeah, Crystal Coe going for the big right to left. Unfortunately, just falling short. Can't really blame it on the breeze, unfortunately. It was a good option. The opportunity was there for Singapore. Unfortunately, ball just creeping a little bit forward. But Lebanon haven't been able to complete a set in the last 2 minutes. And it's a good start. He's
There's
up the
a
wing.
great carry. Up towards halfway from Michaela Farhat. But unfortunately, once again, they've turned it over. So they're their own worst enemy at the moment. Probably both of these teams, not just Lebanon.
Jeez, yeah, that was a tough call. I thought there may have been a penalty awarded to Lebanon for a bit of a physical touch. But it's going both ways. That's 6 again to Singapore. But the referee's given touch pass. So absolute chaos happening out in the middle of the pitch at the moment, James.
Certainly is, as now Mikhail tries to take full advantage of it. Will play it directly on the half. Space out on this left-hand edge for Lebanon if they look to get a little bit more expansive with it. That was close to being another forward pass.
Yeah, Chanel Mikhail in the centre of the pitch, number 7 for Lebanon. She's had her hands on everything thus far, so she might be the go-to in this set.
Yeah, good carry once again. Oh, unfortunately, the roll ball is incorrect once more. I'll tell you what, Jackson, I don't think we've seen a complete set from Lebanon for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Singapore might have had a couple.
The coaches aren't too happy. You can see them at the top of screen, extremely vocal at some of the players. The one thing you need is to maintain possession, particularly at this level, and against a good side like Singapore as well, as they stream through now.
Another chance to go on the attack here with G. G looking for support, finds the ball back on the inside. Last one brought up now for Singapore. So waiting and acting half is Harley. Harley then looking to pop a ball out to this right-hand side. Unfortunately, though, for McSweeney, she couldn't help herself. Plays at the ball when she really didn't need to, and that's a whole nother set as a result.
We can see they're putting in Jazreel Tan for Singapore, as well as the 13 with ball in hand. Isabel Fan, two dominant attacking players for this Singapore lineup.
Fan backpedaling. Met there by Mikhail. And now once again a chance to link up out wide. Well, often Singapore have opted for that direct option to the wing as opposed to going through the hands. And I think each and every situation they would have been better served by using the link.
Yeah, you're 100% right. They just need to go a little bit straighter on. You can see they're running a little bit laterally, Singapore, in that attacking set. But now Lebanon with a good drive through the centre here.
I had question marks about Francesca G being offside there. I think that's why Lebanon ran directly at her. She must have just got back in time.
You got to look at the positives, though, James. Lebanon actually completed a set on that occasion. So you got to find the small things. So next job for Lebanon, that's all they needed to do was complete one set. So maybe that puts them back on track. But with the ball is Singapore.
A little in there for the Lebanese team. Now the dummy comes out from Wilford. Wilford then finding Tan on the follow-up. Last one brought up into the arms of Lau. It goes. Oh, Lau popping a pass out wide. McSweeney made a good read. Did get a touch on it in the process, though, so another set to work with here for Singapore. So Lee Chen En with a really good effort to maintain possession after the touch from Lebanon. Would have resulted in a fresh set regardless, but
she looks quick on her feet, doesn't she, Jada Lau?
And she's once again Lau going at them directly. That was a brave dive at the line.
Yeah.
Big contact as well.
Absolutely crunched over the top by Naomi Kader coming across. onto the much smaller body of Jada Lau. As we look at this, look at that knees and everything. Lau putting the body on the line.
Well, this is an interesting call, too, from the referee. Now, he suggested there was contact with the head. He's actually sent her from the field for an assessment now. We could see that there on the replay. I don't think there was any contact with the head.
I think it was contact with everything else, knees, arms, elbows. They're tough athletes, though, these touchies.
Now, short side right here from Singapore. Little juggle, well maintained, though, by G. Back to the 7-metre mark she goes now. So, evenly poised this battle. Probably haven't seen the best of either side as of yet, though. Last one brought up. And unfortunately, there's another error, this time forward out of acting half. So Lebanon looking to march upfield. They've only had one completed set in probably their last 10. Well, Weeby then met with a very strong push. That could have easily been pinged. Only 6 minutes till half time. I still don't think we've seen either team really settle. Maybe Singapore a touch more than Lebanon. Oh, Weeby then dropping the shoulder as she marched forward. And she'll actually come away with the penalty.
Yeah. I think the referees are going to have a little bit of a talk, but yeah, they're going to actually flip the decision and claim that there was an elbow thrown from the attacking player, be it Carla Weeby. I thought it was a fair bump play on. She's managed to make a little bit of a break, a right foot step. We know how deadly she is out there, as you can see in the replay. Big right foot step in, then leans into contact. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. As you mentioned, I reckon it was a fair bump play on. But now Singapore back on the attack.
Singapore cutting it forward here with Koo. Koo then links up with Tan. Back to Koo once again. Just outside the 7. Another sloppy roll ball. This time let go. Floating a pass over the top. In the end, that was a very important play at the ball from Emma Tuma. She was beaten otherwise.
Yeah, it was just real Tan throwing it over the top and just managing to get a finger to it, wasn't it? Just got the fingertips to it. Yeah, she was marching over, wasn't she? Untouched. Lee Chan En.
And played out once again there for mine from Lebanon, although the call is going to favour the Lebanese. So they've got away with that one. And it comes back to the work from Tuma to deny what looked to be a certain try building on that right-hand edge. So still locked up at 1 apiece. Less than 5 to go in the first half.
Oh, that's definitely not where the mark was, but Lebanon capitalised on it. We mentioned great metres from McHale.
Through the middle and then scooped up here by Elba, who hasn't seen a great deal of the footy. Unfortunately, McHale wasn't ready for it. She'd just come off a big run. Was looking to get back in position. And another turnover here from Lebanon. It's a dire completion rate. Singapore have improved theirs. They still can't seem to break down this Lebanese side.
Yeah, Lebanon have got the likes of McHale, Kader and Weeby. We've seen them dominate early on, but there hasn't been a strike dump into the attacking line from Lebanon for a good 7 to 10 minutes. So we need to see those ladies come out of dummy half.
Oh, Lau with a lovely bit of play there. A jinking effort, weaving around defenders and digging deep into the line before popping a pass. That's lovely to see from Lau.
She's obviously passed the HIA.
That was a very quick one, wasn't it? Back into the action. Another set to work with here for Singapore. You have to imagine the pressure has to tell here at some point. They've had set after set up against this Lebanese line. Lau drops it down now, gets it back nice and quick. Good read from Beckett. Jamming in out of that left link position to make the touch. Bit of space on that left-hand side too for Singapore if they go that way. Lau hops in at acting half. Short release once again, but it's all through the centre at the moment.
Wow.
In fact, it'll work a treat. It's Alicia Tan who carves them up right up Main Street. They all had eyes for Lau. It never quite got there, though.
It was a great setup from Lau. Dishing it quickly. Beautiful service from dummy half. Look at the evasiveness from the Singapore attack. Alicia Tan showing her abilities. In Singapore, 2 tries, Lebanon 1.
Well, this will be the best field position Lebanon have had in some time, though, simply by virtue of it being a tap-off. 2 players down, and now they're in an attacking zone. Weeby fires a pass out to this right-hand side. High press from Singapore. Weeby wrapping around. Likes her chances on that short side, and why not? Puts down the afterburners, and Weeby completely splits them. Lebanon with a quick hit back. We're locked up once again at 2 apiece.
Well, Weeby comes from absolutely nothing. Singapore called offside through the likes of Isabel Fan, not able to get back, and Weeby taking full advantage as you mentioned, James, maybe it was the field position that gave them that extra boost of confidence. A simple wrap from Weeby around and straightening up. Good contact as well from the kickoff.
Well, for Lebanon, that would tell them if they can just hold on to the ball, complete their sets, spend a bit of time down the other end, they can come away with points. So locked up at 2 tries apiece here. Nail-biting action at Mudgee for the Asia Pacific Open Touch Cup. Now good speed here from Jazreel Tan. Floats it over the top. Jazreel with an unreal ball. Into the arms it goes of Glen. And that is a beautiful bit of play from Singapore, although, have they called it back? No, now confirmed. So terrific stuff from Singapore for this try.
Yeah, Tam, we've been talking about it all the first half. A lovely left to right loopy pass to the winger. Straight across. Jan slamming it down in the corner, but she's been in everything, hasn't she, Jazreel Tan? Good momentum driving forward, attacking on the line, and also a good defensive edge. Plays in the link. She's had some good touches on the ball in this first half for Singapore.
Likely the last chance of this first half now for Lebanon. Short delivery for Farhat. It's the 2 Farhat girls out there at once now. That was Mariana taking off out towards that left-hand side. Thought she had an offside defender, went directly at them, but waved away.
Yeah, Gabriella Francis was standing alone on that left touchline for Lebanon. Farhat just had to let it go. Unfortunately, holding on to it in that occasion with the Singapore collapsing defence, and now a good roll on here through 10.
Great meters. Last one brought up here for Singapore. Scooped and off they go through Koo. Koo finding some support there eventually with G, and then a little tip on to Wilford. But good scramble from Lebanon. 10 seconds remaining now in this half. As McSweeney carts it forward. Likely one more play coming up. Touch made there again. Big contact. And surely that one will go against Lebanon. That was a genuine palm to the face. There's the siren. And yes, you can also see there, indicated by the referee, right to the throat.
It was a good hit, wasn't it? Singapore are going to have one attacking chance, just a single touch to be played here as the halftime hooter has gone in the background. Singapore are probably going to throw this round.
Ooh, a little tip on play, and then Weeby was looking for the intercept. It never quite arrived that far out. But Singapore have done enough to take the lead into half-time. For Lebanon, it's all about the completion rate in the second half, Jackson.
Tell you what, some good energy from Singapore coming off the sideline here. But, man, the error count was just too high from both teams, and Weeby having to take it upon herself to run through the line in order to score a try. I mean, look at her. She's all over the ball. Bit of shoulder charging. We love to see it. And Jazreel Tan from Singapore really making her mark on this game too. Setting up tries. We see Weeby here just taking it upon herself, attacking the offside defender, and Jazreel Tan, that lovely left to right pass. It is 3 tries to Singapore, 2 tries to Lebanon. And what an exciting second half coming up, James.
It certainly is, no doubt about it. The Weeby v Jazreel Tan show. It is the real deal. Let's find out who will come up trumps in the second half. 3-2 at the break. Singapore in front. Welcome back to Mudgee for the 2026 edition of the Asia Pacific Opens Touch Cup Women's Open action here. Singapore in control, 3 tries to 2. For Lebanon, the big issue for them has been their handling and completion rate. It's been very, very low so far. If they can turn that around, they have every chance of getting themselves in front. As the moves are coming out there from Arabella Gattani. She's ready to rock and roll.
We mentioned, James, it was a low completion rate for both sides. Lebanon and Singapore probably effectively being under 30% completion rate. So there would have been some talk at halftime from both coaches. So here we go, second half.
So Gattani carts it forward, followed up by Farhat. Now a good little run here from Maria Saad as well. Just shy of that 7, and unfortunately, whatever message was delivered at halftime around handling, it hasn't translated into success in the second.
Yeah, you can see the coaching staff from Lebanon vocal, active, at the top of screen. They're getting into the players, and I don't blame them. It's a tough game. Singapore up by 1 with good field position, good momentum. Fifth and last touch now through Real, and they've got some numbers.
Ooh, Mason then looks to link up once again. Played at by Farhat. Ball hits the deck. They will get another set here now, Singapore. So a golden opportunity to increase that margin. They haven't led by 2 at any point outside of the opening couple of tries. Since that point in time, Lebanon have got themselves well and truly in the contest. Mason then met with a very strong touch by Saad.
You'd expect this set from Singapore to go through the hands of Jazreel Tan. The 3 from Singapore was dominant in first half.
Here she is now being set upon by Gattani. Tan and then turned away back to the middle. Quick play the ball from Koo. Tan wrapping around, floats a pass over the top. A beautiful ball from Tan. Now, was the put down a little short of the line? Yes, it was. It was short and then bobble.
Oh, I want to go to the bunker on this one.
I think they've got it spot on here, Jackson.
That was a great setup by Jazreel Tan. We said she would take charge of this side, and just looping the ball from right to left. She threw a few left to right in the first half, and yes, just grounded it short. Oh, unfortunately there for Singapore. The referees right on the spot. All money they were, and Lebanon again coming up with an error. Driving out of their own half, and Singapore now with all things go forward.
Great call from the referees as now Singapore approaching that 7. Lee Chen En hops in at acting half, delivers a pass back to the middle now for Alexis Tan. Tan stays alive in the play. Fast roll ball once again, an incomplete set. And this one here, of course, forward. So we're probably still waiting, I would say. After 22 minutes, neither team has really settled into the contest. It's all been very haphazard.
Yeah, you're exactly right. No team has really had the dominant momentum going one way. It's been 50-50, but within that 50-50, there's just been so many errors, and it's impossible to get one over the other with all the errors going on. But
although
it is.
Here goes Weeby now, who finds an opening and had support out wide. Couldn't quite link up with her link. McSweeney would have also been there in support. Instead, the ball hits the deck. It's become, unfortunately, a common practice for both teams. You can see it right there on display.
That's fair enough from the referee. I absolutely agree. Bit of a ball down play, but you'd expect Weeby here working nicely with Kader, the number 9, and the number 17. They've been the dominant ball players in the first half, and it is Kader with the ball now.
Drops it on the 7. Still an option on this right-hand side. Dagger delivers for Kader. Kader plays it just inside the 7, but they opt not to go quickly. Instead, will backpedal a touch. Now Weeby wrapping around. Mistimed on this occasion, though. Weeby with the dancing feet. Sends it back to the middle once again. Kader hopping in and out of acting half. Really losing their bearings in this set, though, Lebanon. That's a little bit better. Quick recycle of the footy. Kader then finding support. They're off the line quickly, but timed it well.
Yeah, just couldn't get Kader or Weeby into a particular attacking position with that set. So Singapore doing really well defensively. Just need to get that go forward, and they do now.
Up towards halfway they go. Back into the action is Lee Chen En, who has been impressive for Singapore so far. Won't use her on this occasion. Instead, it's Fan who carts it forward, and now more meters on offer for Singapore. They try and get around the outside of Dagger, but Dagger made a good touch, and there is the turnover. So about 4 minutes gone in the second half. No change to the halftime scoreline. 3-2, Singapore still in front. Lebanon's big issue still is the completion rate. That looked to be forward as well. let go on this occasion, and then that one was also a bit of an awkward roll ball. So they haven't really learnt Lebanon at this point. Farhat then carries it forward, and there's another turnover. So you could probably count it on one hand, the amount of completed sets since probably the 5th minute of this match.
Yeah, this is a new one too. This is 7 on the field. So touch football, it's obviously 6 on 6. It happens quite frequently during the substitution box when there's so many players coming on and coming off at once. But unfortunately, the referee's keeping a close eye on the Lebanese interchange, and unfortunately just getting 7 on a field on that occasion.
G followed up by Fan. Good meters here. Fan back through the middle. Touch made just in time from Farhat, but called offside. So 4-2 the score. Lovely work through the middle. Isabel Fan will capitalise, and Singapore have another on the board.
Great go forward by Isabel Fan. Look at her drag the defensive middle left, and just inside. You see Farhat actually calls no touch. So great sportsmanship from the Lebanese on that occasion. Really well done, but Tan throwing it inside pass while taking the defensive left. Great setup and great execution there by Singapore. It's now 4 tries to Singapore and 2 to Lebanon.
It's been in terrific touch, Jazreel Tan. This is a better set now, though, from Lebanon, driving strongly. Now for Mikhail. Floating about this 7-metre mark, going directly at them. Good touch made, though, jamming in from Link. Smart read in the end from Alicia Tan. Last one brought up here for Lebanon. Mikhail tracking across field, floats a pass. No. Singapore couldn't help themselves. Reached out the arms, and there is a touch of the ball and another set to come.
Someone had the lolly jar open. You had to just stick your fingers in. Again, it's just a reaction, isn't it, from the players? And you see the ball there. It's just sitting up nice for you. It's hard to keep your hands close to your side on that occasion. But Lebanon gifted another set of 6.
Too tempting there for Singapore. And that is now a penalty inside the 7 as well. So they've got to be careful now, Singapore. 3, and they will have a player sat down. It's now El Bahu delivers short back to Mikhail. Mikhail taking them on.
She's been good too, Mikhail. Had a lot of touches in the first half. Had a really good few go forwards in the Lebanese roll on. Now getting her hands on the ball in an attacking position.
Here she is again now, working in tandem with Farhat. Late sweep coming from El Bahu, not called upon on this occasion. Instead, they send it wide out to the path of Francis. Francis nearly got around the outside. Good turn of speed from Francis.
Yeah, Michaela Farhat on that occasion just not getting to the dummy half position quick enough. There wasn't enough time for her to pick up and throw the ball, but if she was there a step earlier, she could have picked up, gone into the Singapore defensive line, and then thrown that left to pass. Oh, my God.
Well, if you're wondering whether that's going to be a penalty, I can assure you, yes. They've thrown it a good 10 metres over the sideline here intentionally, Lebanon.
My goodness. I'll tell you what, if that was late in the game and the game is close, that could be a professional foul territory, and someone would be sitting down for at least a good 3 sets.
Well, that's the most blatant one I've ever seen. Singapore now from right to left.
I reckon that's
draw
great.
a pass. Here's a genuine chance for Singapore. Good space out on this left-hand edge. Saw a fair bit of it, actually, from the Lebanese boys against New Zealand on day 1. So maybe that's a part of the coaching clinic, so to speak.
Just a bit of gamesmanship. It's always good to see.
So now May Brenda. Short delivery out of acting half, and then good meters from Alexis Tan. Fast play the ball as well. Jazreel Tan was looking to take off. Got the penalty instead, though.
Now, this set is really crucial for Singapore. They can go up by 3 tries here against Lebanon. A good attacking side. They do have their star player on, Jazreel Tan, holding her player back.
Quite literally directing her. Tan still alive in the play. Short delivery back to Tan. Well read from Lebanon. So back to the 7 they go once again.
Because as a player, 4-2 down, you know 1 try you're back in it. 5-2 down, things change quite significantly.
Jazreel Tan, she'd be well aware of that fact. Looking to put all the pressure on Lebanon here. Another try would do exactly that. Jazreel Tan scheming, waiting for the chance to strike. Scooped it up now. Alexis Tan off her hip. Sends it out to this left-hand side. A little stunner step. Well met there by Beckett, who gets the touch right on the line. 1 more to see off now for Lebanon. They've done a good job defensively in this set. Alexis Tan still there in the middle, set upon very quickly. Great read from El Bahu, who came rushing out off the line and makes the touch. There's the turnover.
As we see the replay, it was a great touch from Lebanon right on the line. Singapore were in for all money, and it was a great collapsing defence. But Lebanon now, they've got a little bit of spring in their step through Michaela Farhat. Now back on the attack into Singapore's defensive zone.
Now short delivery there from Francis, and then really driving forward. They nearly split them. It was Maria Sard who was driving towards the try line.
Great touch by Jada Lau as well.
Eventually turned away. Short delivery once more, this time for Gatani. Gatani trying to find a very, very narrow opening, but denied on that occasion. There's the turnover. So Singapore still have that 2-try buffer. We've only seen the 1 try since the resumption of play. Only a quarter of the game left, and I dare say, Jackson, Lebanon now need to be next to score.
Yeah, well, we've seen the likes of Jada Lau and Alexis Tan in attack, and they just showed how good they are at defence as well by shutting down the good roll-on from Lebanon. But here they go, Singapore now through May Brenda, a dummy half, but again, just not being able to complete. But the referee actually awards Singapore a penalty for offside.
A lucky escape there for Alicia Tan. And now works it about 15 metres into enemy territory. Good carry here from Tan once again. They'll have at least 3 plays on the 7. Chance for a couple of strike dumps. Here's one coming now. Short delivery. Tan out in front. Did a good job to reel it in. Then a wonderful diving effort, but just denied on the try line. It was Sard, Gatani. They're all converging upon her.
Yeah, Alicia Tan, how about the athleticism? She knew exactly where she was going, and it just seems like the Lebanese just got the bun right on the top of the head.
Now Tan once again as they come to this left-hand side. A couple of dummies, nearly split them, but Farhat hopped up into the passing channel. Denied that long ball, and now Lebanon have the task of working away from their own end. Gatani.
Yeah, great defence by Lebanon, and they're really good at the go-forward when they can complete the set, but it just seems at the moment they're forcing the pass. There's still 10 minutes to play in this second half. I know they're down by 2, but 2 tries can come quite quickly. All you need to do is just get the ball up the other end of the field, and your likelihood of scoring a try significantly increases, obviously. But if you're going to try and force those passes, it's going to be very difficult because, as we can see, the error is beginning to creep in.
Jazreel Tan once again is out there pulling the strings, looking for an opening, challenging this Lebanese defensive unit. Plays it now. Back to Jazreel Tan. They're looking likely on that right-hand edge, but Tan doesn't pull the trigger. Instead goes back to the 7 here. So Koo on her left. Wilford now working it forward as well. Short release on that occasion then from Mason, followed up by Jazreel Tan. Now, for mine has gone forward out of the hands. There's a knock-on in attempting to put it down.
I think she's bounced it.
I'm completely with you. Now, they're going to say, yes, there is the late call. Into Lebanon's hands it goes. So that's the right decision.
It was a close one too. Lee Chen En just unfortunately bouncing it, but it was a difficult one from Jazreel Tan. She threw it left to right. It's come off a deflection of the Lebanon player, and as she's falling, she just bounces it. But I don't know. That's a tough call as well, James. Lebanon, again, stagnant in the roll forward.
And then completely losing their bearings there. Weeby was never an option, but the pass was thrown to her. She was actually hitting the deck as it arrived. So once again, Lebanon turn it over inside their own half, which means another chance now for Singapore. So they can't afford here through May Brenda. And then Koo. Koo gets it back once again. Jazreel Tan continuing to bark orders, direct traffic. Hops out of acting half now. Tan splits them once again, looking for support. Good patience from Tan. Tries to squeeze it around the corner. Great covering from Weeby. Got the touch in time.
She's so good, isn't she, Jazreel Tan? She's carving up this Lebanese defence. There's been 2 sets on the Lebanese defensive line, and Jazreel Tan has been able to break Lebanon for a second time in a row. There's been some space here
for Singapore on this left-hand side. Well, she knows when to run. Alicia Tan then nearly found an opening as well. So 6 minutes to go here. Lebanon need a try. They need it quickly. Down by 2. But of course, still their biggest issue remains completing their sets and actually getting down to the other end of the field. Beckett now carting it out to this left-hand side. That was very flat once again. And a long loping pass. McSweeney tries to play it too quickly, and there is another turnover. Unfortunately as well, Jackson, it's usually on play 2 or 3. It's not even deep in the set.
I'd say this is probably the 5th set in a row that Lebanon have come up with an error. I haven't seen them really get over halfway in the last 3 minutes. But just gifting Singapore time over again, chances at scoring a try. And you've got Jazreel Tan. She's barking orders in the right link. She wants the ball in her hand.
Now Alexis Tan, followed by G. Here she comes on this occasion. Lovely draw and pass. Turns it back out to that right-hand side. Jia Hui Gam was trying to squeeze through a little gap. Jazreel Tan back in that acting half. Will now grab over to that right-hand side. Alexis Tan pushing up in support. Jazreel Tan takes off. Great read, though, from Mariana Farhat.
It was a good collapsing read. Jazreel Tan just needed to get rid of it on that occasion. A good defensive effort by Lebanon, and this is all they need to do. They should restrict the amount of passes that they're actually giving and just go straight up the middle of the field.
That's exactly what the doctor ordered. There it is. Good drives, and they pick up plenty of meterage. Followed up by Farhat. Fast roll ball too. Michaela Farhat as well, then floats a pass over the top. Well, that's when they needed to just pull it back a touch. They'd already done all the yardage work. Chance to then set up a raid around the 7, but just bit off a little more than they could chew there, Lebanon. So
you should see Lebanon hopefully having some good line speed here, trying to restrict Singapore. But again, touch 1, very physical as well. Lebanon through the likes of Michaela Farhat. But again, I don't necessarily think it was too bad. The contact, you're playing at women's open level. It's an international test match. There's going to be some physicality, but now Singapore back on the attack.
So just a little reminder as well, coming into this game, Singapore with a very tough draw thus far. 16-1 loss to Australia in round 1. 4-1 loss to the Philippines in round 2 and a 17-0 loss to New Zealand in round 3. Just the one win as well for Lebanon. And don't forget, Australia-Philippines up next in the mixed opens division. That'll be a cracking encounter as Weeby works it up through the middle. Good little carry here from El Bahu. Weeby back out to this left-hand side. McSweeney's there. Now Sasson gets involved as well. Finally, some good field position for Lebanon. Chance for Weeby to work her magic. Takes off and now looks to lope a pass over the top. Oh, the ball was good enough to be taken. But Francis, just a little bit of hesitation in the run, and that proved to be the difference.
Well, it's good to see Weeby when she gets in a good attacking position. She can create something out of absolutely nothing. And I agree with you, James. The ball was there. Unfortunately, Francis just couldn't reel that one in. She was walking over too. And that would have been 4 tries to 3 with 2 and a bit to play. But now Singapore back on the attack.
Great carry there from Fan. Jazreel Tan there in support. Not called upon on this occasion. Now lovely speed as they split them. G floats it out wide. Oh, tough one for Fan to take. Was diving towards the line, but that one hits the deck.
Now, I tell you what, there was a massive professional foul in that play of movement. There was a Singapore player withheld, restricted, being pulled by a Lebanon player in a try-scoring position, and the referees completely missed it. Wow.
They've escaped with one there. Lebanon, they'll need that escape too if they are any chance to pull this one out of the fire. 2 to go, 4-2 the score. They'll count their blessings. Now Weeby up towards halfway. For mine, she's just got to stay on the field. If there are any chance of launching a comeback, she can't have a rest at this point. They'll head out towards Saad. Saad takes it up over halfway. Good carry now from Gattani. Gattani floats a pass to McSweeney. Nearly got on the outside. Last one brought up here for Lebanon. Weeby, unfortunately, has headed to the box, and that should now do it for Singapore. There's 90 seconds left. They've seen off that threat. And you'd imagine they can kill the game here.
Yeah, it's all about game management now from Singapore. They'll know just to put it up the other end. And again, another penalty gifted to Singapore. Offside the call from the referee. As time clicks down, just over a minute to play, you'd think Singapore are home on this occasion. And what they should be doing is just putting the ball up the other end of the field every single chance that they get.
So approaching the final minute. Lebanon will likely only get one more possession, so the clock is going to beat them as much as anything else. Touch made there through the middle. Quick release once again. This time for Mason. Mason straightening. Found a pass. Beckett stepped up into the channel. Slapped it down. But the initial indiscretion was touch pass. There's the turnover. So last chance saloon now for Lebanon. It'll only be a consolation try if they can get another one on the board. Singapore have earned their victory. Quite frankly, Lebanon probably don't deserve to get the win here based on the completions. Up towards halfway they go now, though. And they have held on to the ball. They have looked sharp. McHale carting it forward. Met there by Mason. McHale once again. Meters on offer. Fast play the ball. Good chance now. Dagger looking to strike through the centre. Couldn't find support. McHale had tucked back underneath. And that is how it'll all play out here for Lebanon. So they'll be stranded on 2 tries. One final play to come here for Singapore. But they have earned their victory, Jackson.
Yeah, you're right. As Singapore take it in for the last touch, that will conclude this fixture. It was a bit up and down, that one, James. A lot of errors at the start of the first half, leading in to the second as well. But Singapore just managing to scrape away with a 4-2 victory over Lebanon. And how about some of the highlights here from the likes of Weeby? Carla Weeby, she was over everything, as was Jazreel Tan and Alicia Tan as well. Look at Weeby just weaving her way through. She's so strong. Unfortunately, that second half, they just couldn't get her in a position where she could really dominate that attacking spot. But speaking of those that dominating, Jazreel Tan was an absolute standout for Singapore. And I'm excited to say, don't go anywhere, because it is Australia versus the Philippines in the mixed open coming up.
Action, but full time in this women's open draw. Singapore prevail over Lebanon. 4 tries to 2, a quick break, and then, of course, that big blockbuster in the mixed opens division up next on Bar TV and YouTube.